greatest gift and honor is having you for a daughter.
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 20 Disney endings that don't mean what you think.
Besides, this is my kingdom. If I don't fight for it, who will?
For this list, we'll be looking at the Disney endings that might be something other than what you understood as a child or contain an ambiguous message. Since this is a list about endings, be forewarned that there will be spoilers ahead. Are there any Disney endings that you think people misinterpret? Let us know in the comments below. Number 20. Aladdin. It can be easy to forget the intricacies of Aladdin's character. Despite being lovable and fun, it's also not inaccurate to say that he was overshadowed by at least one attention-grabbing supporting role. We're looking at you, Genie.
You're a prisoner? It's all part and parcel of the whole genie gig.
Phenomenal cosmic powers!
Itty-bitty living space.
With that said, the real defining traits Aladdin possesses are his street smarts and his empathy, which is what helped him survive poverty in Agrabah. It's also what saves him in the end. More than the 3 wishes or magic flying carpet, everything Aladdin's learned from living on the streets, quick thinking, agility, and compassion, is always what gets him out of sticky situations. Just like his quick wits saved Jasmine at the beginning of the movie, they're what save her again in the end. With the added bonus of defeating Jafar, of course.
Phenomenal cosmic powers!
Come on, you're the genie! I love
Itty-bitty living space. Hell, you little genius, you.
Number 19. Tangled. For many, Tangled at first seemed reminiscent of the plethora of other Disney films based on fairy tales. Those often featured a heroine whose only desire was to meet a dashing prince and fall in love. And Rapunzel certainly did fall in love with the charming rogue Flynn Rider, or the much more endearing Eugene Fitzherbert. However, what many missed were the ways Tangled subverted the classic formula.
I don't know where I am, and I need him to take me to see the lanterns because I've been dreaming about them my entire life. Find your humanity! Haven't any of you ever had a dream?
Rapunzel is motivated by her own journey of self-discovery, and her main motivation is to break free from the constraints of her brainwashing guardian. In fact, in the end, the 2 leads save each other, which is a nice way to push past the formulaic and sexist trope of prince saves the princess.
But after years and years of asking and asking and asking, I finally said yes.
Eugene.
All right, I asked her.
Number 18. Toy Story 4. The 4th Toy Story film begins with a flashback 9 years earlier, where Woody was faced with the choice to stay with Andy or leave with Bo Peep.
You know, kids lose their toys every day. Sometimes they get left in the yard or put in the wrong box.
In the end, Woody of course stayed, knowing that the young Andy still needed him. Flash forward, however, Andy is all grown up and the toys are living with their new kid, Bonnie. The 4th installment of the franchise sees Woody once again faced with the decision to leave or stay. Woody and Buzz's goodbye is difficult, but it's a necessary part of growing up and moving forward. This movie felt like it might have been more for the parents who first took their kids to see Toy Story in 1995, and who'd had to watch them grow up and leave the nest since then.
He's not lost. Not anymore. To infinity and beyond.
Number 17. Mulan.
So your family will know what you have done for me. And this. So the world will know what you have done for China.
The early scenes of Mulan showed that she always felt out of place as the subservient daughter. She was required to wear makeup and dresses, and it was alluded to that her main purpose was to be married off. Even the song Reflection is about being torn between 2 worlds, and the desire to be one's true self.
When will my reflection show who I am inside?
The opportunity to do just that seems to come when Mulan joins the army. But then again, she's still hiding beneath a false identity. It's only once she stops trying to be what others expect of her that she's able to live her own truth. And interestingly, that's when she finally wins the respect she deserves. It's a message that's easy to overlook when we're all so excited about Mulan and Shang getting together.
Would you like to stay for dinner?
Would you like to stay forever?
Dinner would be great.
Number 16, The Fox and the Hound. This Disney flick received a bit of a lukewarm response, with many critics of the time knocking it for being overly simple. However, more modern examinations have found a good deal of complexity in the plot. The film deals with growing up in a changing world, where the things you knew to be true as a child are challenged.
Darling, forever is a long, long time, and time has a way of changing things.
The titular fox and hound, who were best friends as children, were taught that they were born enemies and as such grew to learn to hate each other from an older generation. In the end, they were not able to overthrow the systematic prejudice of their world, but did come to understand it and recall a time before it tore them apart.
We will always be friends forever, won't we? Yeah, forever.
Number 15, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. The evil queen's question to her magic mirror about the fairest one of all has become deeply ingrained into our popular culture over the years.
Who is the fairest one of all?
Famed is thy beauty, Majesty, but hold, a lovely maid I see.
Parroted and parodied countless times, the answer to the question consistently reveals that Snow White is more beautiful than the Wicked Queen. With Snow White's triumph in the end of the film and the Queen's demise, many have surmised that the film is saying the prettiest people deserve to win. However, the movie is not as concerned with praising vanity as it might have seemed. Snow White won people over not with her looks, but with her pure heart and with her kindness. It's how she befriended the dwarfs, the forest animals, and even how she stilled the hand of her would-be murderer.
I can't do it. Forgive me. I beg you, Your Highness. Forgive me.
Number 14, Monsters, Inc. Monsters, Inc. showcased a world that was literally powered by the screams of children, and explained why monsters lived in children's closets. The monsters were told by the powers that be that human children were toxic and incredibly deadly. A lie created to keep the hierarchy of power in place, and that, didn't make the monsters feel like bad guys.
Times have changed. Scaring isn't enough anymore. But kidnapping children? I'll kidnap 1,000 children before I let this company die, and I'll silence anyone who gets in my way!
Mike and Sully discover all of this when they inadvertently befriend the human child, Boo. They upend the old power structure and realize that the power of a child's laughter is 10 times stronger than their screams of fear. This provided a new power source in-universe, and revealed to us the theme that fear and deceit are far weaker than truth and joy.
Not bad, huh? Only somebody with perfect comedic timing could produce this much energy in one shot.
Uh-huh. And the fact that laughter is 10 times more powerful than scream had nothing to do with it.
Number 13, Mary Poppins. Many decades after its release, Mary Poppins is still fondly remembered for the fantastical adventures that the titular nanny and the Banks children went on.
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, even though the sound of it is something quite atrocious. If you say it loud enough, you'll always sound precocious. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Among many viewers, there is a prevailing wisdom that Mary arrived to teach the unruly children how to behave and then departed when she was no longer needed. However, we argue this movie isn't a morality tale for how children should act like Pinocchio, but rather one directed at absent parents. By the end of the movie, Mr. Banks transforms from a distant father, more concerned with his job than being there for his children, into a radiant and fun individual who is present for his kids.
With your fist holding tight to the string of your kite, oh, let's go fly a kite.
Number 12, WALL-E. This Pixar gem has often been noted for its strong environmental message, as WALL-E's plot involves a future human civilization living among the stars after the Earth becomes too polluted to inhabit. The end of the film sees humanity return to Earth after it's proven that life has once again become sustainable. While the environmental themes are unquestionably present, they are far from the prevailing message of the film.
Do nothing? That's all I've ever done! That's all anyone on this blasted ship has ever done! Nothing!
On the axiom, you will survive.
I don't want to survive! I want to live!
WALL-E concerns itself not just with humans making connections to nature, but with each other too. Initially isolated from one another, the people in WALL-E learn to work together in the finale. Only through cooperation are they capable of returning to Earth and restarting civilization.
This is called farming. You kids are gonna grow all kinds of plants. Vegetable plants, pizza plants. It's good to be home.
Number 11, The Lion King. One of the most enduring legacies of The Lion King is the iconic earworm Hakuna Matata, where the lovable Timon and Pumbaa sing about living a carefree and unattached lifestyle. Children have cheerily spent decades singing about having no worries for the rest of your days.
It means no worries for the rest of your days. It's our problem-free philosophy. Hakuna Matata.
However, many may have missed that the film's third act is a firm counter-argument to that philosophy. During the years that Simba spent shirking his responsibilities, his sinister Uncle Scar transformed his homeland into a hellscape. In the end, Simba rebukes the problem-free philosophy and rises to meet his destiny, as do, albeit reluctantly, Timon and Pumbaa.
Pumbaa, what are you doing here?
At your service, my liege.
We're gonna fight your uncle for this?
Yes, Timon. This is my home.
Number 10, Ralph Breaks the Internet. The first Wreck-It Ralph dealt with issues like identity and self-acceptance, and the sequel addressed similarly mature themes.
Ralph, what are you, nuts? Come on, this isn't me. This is me. Look, the code may say I'm a princess, but I know who I really am, Ralph. I'm a racer with the greatest superpower ever.
Ralph has settled into a new status quo and is loving life, but the same can't be said for his best friend Vanellope. She wants to grow and change, and Ralph's fear of being abandoned grows into a literal monster.
You need to let her go. I know. It's gonna hurt a little bit when you do. Oh, who am I kidding? It's gonna hurt a lot. But you're gonna be okay.
It's only when Ralph lets go of his insecurities, as painful as it may be, and lets his friend go, that they're both free.
I love you so much. I'm really gonna miss you.
I'm gonna miss you too, kid. I really am.
The film's final scenes illustrate that sometimes those we love may choose a different path than we do, and we need to accept that and realize it doesn't mean they love us any less. Number 9, The Rescuers Down Under. The Rescuers Down Under was a radical departure for Disney, as it was both the first sequel and abandoned Disney's signature musical format.
Oh my gosh! I hope I know what I'm doing.
This isn't the only way it was different, however, with the directors drawing inspiration from Hayao Miyazaki films for some of its most recognizable sequences.
You're free!
Like many of Miyazaki's films, The Rescuers Down Under ends with a message about the power of nature and how it needs to be protected. However, the message isn't as heavy-handed as in other 90s films, such as 1992's Fern Gully: The Last Rainforest.
I will remember. Guys, things have got to change.
So, for many young viewers, it was just a sequel movie set in Australia.
Well done, mate.
Number 8, Peter Pan. Peter Pan has become the poster child for those that refuse to grow up or let go of their childhoods.
I'm so glad you came back tonight. I might never have seen you.
Why?
Because I have to grow up tomorrow.
Grow up?
Some have even interpreted the meaning of the film as being that we lose our sense of imagination and wonder when we grow up. However, the truth is a little more complex.
Come on.
But where are we going?
To Neverland.
Neverland?
You'll never grow up there.
In the end, the Darlings choose to leave Neverland and the Lost Boys in order to grow up, returning to their parents.
Well, a mother, a real mother, is the most most wonderful person in the world. She's the angel voice that bids you good night, kisses your cheek, whispers, sleep tight.
While growing up and losing innocence is tragic, it's a difficult thing we all must do, and that struggle into adulthood makes us into fully formed people.
Neverland?
Yes, but I am.
Am.
Ready to grow up.
Well, my dear, all in good time.
Number 7, The Little Mermaid. The film that ushered in the Disney Renaissance, The Little Mermaid began an unrivaled period of critical and commercial success for the animation studio.
The youngest in her musical debut, our seventh little sister, we're presenting her to you. To sing a song Sebastian wrote, her voice is like a bell. She's our sister, Ariel.
Those that saw the classic film as children have re-examined it with a critical eye later in life. Some finding Ariel's character journey problematic, coming to the conclusion that Ariel sacrifices everything for a dreamy man.
Now, then, you're here because you have a thing for this human, this prince fellow. Not that I blame you. He is quite a catch, isn't he?
While the original ending of Hans Christian Andersen's fairy tale certainly seems to support that reading, director Ron Clements smartly adjusted the original story's ending where Ariel died to save the prince. With the new ending in the film, the story becomes a metaphor for discovering your own voice and following your dreams.
It's like I always say, Your Majesty. Children got to be free to lead their own lives.
You always say that? Oh, then I guess there's just one problem left.
And what's that, Your Majesty?
How much I'm going to miss her.
Number 6, Atlantis, the Lost Empire. While The Little Mermaid began the Disney Renaissance, Atlantis arrived just after the period of prosperity had come to a close, and was considered a box office disappointment and a critical flop.
I don't understand it. Just tuned this thing up this morning.
Over the years, however, Atlantis has earned a reputation as a cult classic, as its original audience that saw it as children came to understand the deeper themes associated with it, particularly its last act.
So, I guess this is how it ends, huh? Fine. You win. You're wiping out an entire civilization, but hey, you'll be rich.
While the highly motivated Rourke is seen as a positive figure through most of the film, his greed and corruption is revealed in the finale.
Ladies first.
You said we were in this together! You promised me a percentage!
Next time, get it in writing.
His traitorous turn and demise serve as an anti-capitalist and anti-imperialist commentary at the film's conclusion. Number 5, Coco. The initial version we hear of Remember Me in Coco is an upbeat, fun song, but one centered on its singer, Ernesto de la Cruz's vanity.
Remember me, though I have to say goodbye, remember me!
Over the course of the film, the audience learns that de la Cruz murdered Hector, his partner, and Miguel's great-great-grandfather to steal his songs.
To our friendship, I would move heaven and earth for you, mi amigo. Salud!
Hector's original, slower version was written for his daughter, Coco, and the song's new context gives the film a new perspective as well. The tear-inducing ending where Miguel plays the song to a now near-death Coco shows us that memory has true power, and rather than being shallowly adored by many, it's better to be truly loved and remembered by even just one person.
Remember me, don't let it make you cry, for even if I'm far away, I hold you in my heart. I sing a secret song to you each night we are apart.
Number 4, Finding Nemo. By the very nature of the film, Finding Nemo is sure to elicit different responses from children and their parents, with children relating to the lost Nemo and parents relating to Marlin.
There. It's okay, Daddy's here. Daddy's got you. I promise I will never let anything happen to you.
Nemo.
In fact, the film is much more of a cautionary tale for parents than children, as Marlin's overprotectiveness and tendency to shelter Nemo is what causes him to become lost in the first place.
Are you listening to me? Don't touch the butt. Nemo!
He touched the butt.
In the end, Marlin learns not to be a helicopter parent, giving Nemo more freedom and trusting him, a lesson he learns from the absent-minded but empathetic Dory.
Love you, Dad.
I love you too, son.
Dad, you can let go now.
Sorry. Now go have an adventure.
Goodbye! See you later, dudes! Bye, Elmo!
Nemo.
Nemo!
Number 3. Up. For most of Up, we follow Carl Fredricksen attempting to bring his home, which represents his departed wife, to the beautiful Paradise Falls.
So long, boys! I'll send you a postcard from Paradise Falls.
Trying to honor her memory and the promise that Carl and Ellie made when they were children, he even speaks to the house as if it were his wife.
Ellie is so beautiful. We made it.
Throughout the film, he goes out of his way to protect the items in his house, even abandoning his new friends to protect it.
Now, whether you assist me or not, I am going to Paradise Falls if it kills me.
However, he can only truly honor Ellie by learning that friends are more important than possessions, and that our memories shouldn't stop us from moving forward.
I would like to award you the highest honor I can bestow. The Ellie Badge.
Number 2. Zootopia. The incredible animations and adorable anthropomorphic animals of Zootopia made the movie a hit with both kids and parents. But it was also an allegory about racism and prejudice.
For whatever reason, they seem to be reverting back to their primitive, savage ways.
The film ends on a hopeful note, with the animals cured and Judy Hopps and Nick Wilde working together. However, even though it's a happy ending, it doesn't mean that Zootopia is a perfect animal utopia. Prejudices don't change overnight, and the message is more about us being aware of them and doing our best to change them and bridge the divide.
And the more we try to understand one another, the more exceptional each of us will be. But we have to try. So no matter what type of animal you are, from the biggest elephant to our first fox, I implore you, try. Try to make the world a better place.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Alice in Wonderland. This classic Disney film has been interpreted a number of ways over the years, with the all just a dream ending misread by many.
Why, that's me! I'm asleep! Don't let her get away! Alice, wake up! Please wake up, Alice! Alice!
While some have interpreted Alice's journey as an allegory for a hallucinogenic drug trip, or devoid of meaning altogether, the movie actually dealt with Alice having to make her way through a world where nothing made sense and no one believed her.
I'm not a flower!
Aha! Just as I suspected. She's nothing but a common mobile vulgaris. Oh, no!
A common what?
To put it bluntly, a weed.
I'm not a weed.
Alice is able to wake from the absurd dream after standing up for herself when she's put on trial by the Mad Queen, and wakes back up in the real world, having grown, in more ways than one, while in Wonderland.
And as for you, Your Majesty. Your Majesty, indeed. Why, you're not a queen. You're just a fat, pompous, bad-tempered old tyrant.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo. And be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.